The shifting gears towards spring. We're in the heart of spring now, and depending on well, yeah, we're in the heart of spring here in Denver for sure. And one of the things that I think is so beautiful about spring, obviously the flowers blooming and all the shifting light and all these things are wonderful. But for ourselves, for our bodies, in traditional Ayurvedic methods, the winter is the time of kapha, where if you know anything about the doshas in Ayurvedic practices, there's three main doshas. We all have a little bit of all three within us. So there's kapha, vata, and pitta. And we're coming out of the kapha season, and kapha tends to be the elements of earth and the elements of water. It's a very heavy energy. It's a wonderful energy. And spring is the time to kind of shift those gears and burn a little bit more and get that heat moving within us, the fire moving within us. So a good time of year for practicing back bends in general. If you think of your yearly, of course, your weekly practice can have all of the poses embedded within them for the well-being of our bodies. But if you kind of shift to a even bird's eye view, even further out to a yearly practice, the spring is a time for really cultivating, opening yourself back up. Think of spring cleaning your house. So spring cleaning this house, the physical house. And one of the ways we can do this is by moving vigorously, moving lymph through our body really well, as well as back bends, heart opening poses. So think about that as you're moving in your practice in these next few weeks of spring to contemplate kind of shifting from that kapha heavy energy to a lighter essence within you. So let's go ahead and sit up straight and tall. And if you are one to do spring cleaning, maybe cleaning up your yard, thinking about planting, maybe cleaning out a closet or scrubbing something down in your house. If you get that energy surge that spring often provides, as you close your eyes, think about what you'd like to clear out within yourself, whether it's something in your mind or something in your body that really needs a little spring cleaning. Do you need to dust the cobwebs over some thought processes that have been weighing you down in some way, or maybe something in your physical body? So just allow your energy to drop into this moment as you contemplate that. Ground yourself into that steady, rooted place. Come into the breath. Get to know the feeling of how your breath is moving through your body today. If you notice that your breath is shallow, maybe just the simple act of breathing deeply through your practice can be enough of that spring cleaning that can help you kind of clear mind, clear the body. Let your shoulders soften. Feel the sense of space and openness as you lift and lengthen your spine. Find that fine-tuned, refined balance between effort and ease, where you have a little bit of efforting to keep posture, to keep space. Then once you cultivate that scaffolding, can you rest within it? Let your breath move into all the little hidden chambers of the mind, of the body that need some open windows, some fresh breeze. As you're ready, place your hands together at your heart and bow in. Create an intention here, what it is that you need. And then let's release the hands and come to be on our back. So find your way to rest on the floor. My voice is a little hoarse today, so apologize if I'm a little hard to hear. I'll try to speak loudly. All right, so stretch your arms overhead and just enjoy such a beautiful thing just to simply stretch your body and awaken. So stretch the right side, stretch the left side. Enjoy, perhaps move your hips where one hip hikes up and the other reaches away. Feel the same with your shoulders. Feel that there's a little back bend embedded within this. Okay, and then bring your knees into your chest and rock a little bit, swaying from side to side. Breathing well. All right, let's circle the knees. Start to feel into the body and the back body in particular. Can you feel your spine? Can you feel your sacrum, your sacroiliac joints? Anything that needs to be worked out, any kinks that need to be worked out back there, just get to know what's happening in the back of your body. Okay. Now let's open the knees out away from the midline and bring them back in and start to get to know the state of your hip joints today. Are you feeling open and free? Is there a little tightness in there? Any, snap, crackle, pops or clicks or places that get stuck? All right, and then keep the right knee in and give it a good snug hug against your body and stretch your left leg long on the floor. Move your feet around, start wiggling your ankles. And when we do these warm-ups, not only is it just warming up your body for your practice, but let it be a little touch point. When we move to a certain thing, it's an opportunity to say hello to a part of your body and wake it up, enliven that mind-body connection. Let's switch sides. So feel the left knee snug in toward the chest. Give it a good squeeze. Feel how your knee and your hip can compress. And then stretch your right leg long and feel the crown stretch long as well. Move your toes, wiggle your feet, any kind of movement that feels good. Notice if you stop breathing, see if you can keep a steady, even breathing pace as you move today. Our breath is one of our primary ways of cleaning house inside, so let's remember to always utilize it. All right, let's stretch our limbs wide and free. Out on the floor, reach into your fingers and your toes. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, bring your knees in, pick your head up. Let's repeat. Open yourself up wide. Exhale. Draw your knees in. One more time. Feel that sense of awareness and openness and space. And exhale and release. Tuck into a ball. Put your feet onto the ground. Cactus your arms open. So goalposts with your arms. Elbows are bent. Just see what's the state of your shoulder range of motion here. Do the backs of your hands rest comfortably on the floor, or are they off, or do you have one that's looser than the other? So just start to notice what's happening with your subscapularis. That's a muscle underneath your shoulder blade that can get pretty tight on a lot of us. All right, take your feet wide apart. Keep the cactus arms, and we're going to drop our knees over to the left. Take a deep breath. And we're going to come back and drop our knees over to the right and take a deep breath. It doesn't take much for us to get embodied. So just pay attention to how nice it feels. One more time each side. How nice it feels to just feel sensation, to be present in your breath and in the sensations of your body. All right, one more big starfish spreading out. Exhale, draw the knees in, pick up your head, and let's come over onto your side. Do you already feel a little better? Just the simple things, is it helping you to be free in your body? Let's start moving through some cat-cows, arching and rounding the spine, taking your time. Notice the way you're moving, breathing well. And then feel free to move this posture around in any way that serves you. You can swirl through your hips, your shoulders, breathing well. And then drop back towards child's pose. Take your arms out in front of you. Walk those fingertips far out in front. Breathing deep. Relax the skull. And let's walk the hands over to one side of the mat and then open up the rib cage. Feel a nice stretch through your side body from your fingers all the way down to your hip. And come back to center, over to the other side. Come back to center. Move things around, swirl and swish your spine. Back up onto all fours. Inhale, lift your right arm up in the air, take a breath. As you exhale, slide that shoulder down and twist free. Put a little weight in your hand, your left hand on the ground. Relax the base of your skull, breathe into the back of the body. And now turn your torso toward the floor. Slide your arm through just a little bit back towards child's pose. Keep your arm underneath you, a big stretch in the back side of your shoulder. All right, inhale, reach that arm all the way back up. Place the hand down onto the ground, change sides, arm lifting. Exhale, slide that shoulder down. Gaze toward the floor, relax your neck, have a little weight in your right hand. Feel into what's happening in your shoulder blades, in the spine. See if you can enjoy the sensations you're feeling. All right, let's slide that out a little bit. So not all the way, we're just sitting back towards child's pose. Take the arm underneath you, broaden your collarbones. See what it feels like to stretch the backside of this shoulder. How are the two different? Are you noticing anything? All right, inhale, reach that arm up. Hand down onto the ground, curl toes under, and lift and lengthen through your spine. Feel free to pedal your feet around here as you come up to dog pose. Take your time to wake up the body however you like to wake up. So for some of us, that's movement. For some of us, that's stillness. There's no rights or wrongs. Just move freely in the way that feels good to you. All right, so drop in. Yield, push off floor, lengthen through your spine, relax your head. Notice where your weight is in your feet and in your hands. Spread things out. Keep the base of the skull as soft as possible. Sit bones high and wide. Lift your femur bones up into the hip joints and take them back. Feel the legs stretch, the whole back of the legs, from your heels to your sit bones. Notice the breath. It's such a beautiful place to breathe. And then walk your feet forward. Come into Uttanasana. Relax your head. Feel free to shake, move, bounce, whatever feels good. Bend your knees as much as you want. Inhale for a halfway lift. Come up and lengthen. Thigh bones move back. Spread out the bones of the feet. Feel the extension in the spine. Breathing well. All right, let's melt and soften. Drop some weight. Inhale and rise all the way up. Okay, come up to stand. If you get dizzy, then you can always take your time. You can always squeeze to the midline. Just find your way into a steadiness of Tadasana. Let's be happy to be standing. Ground your weight to open your heart. Okay, we're going to come up onto our tippy toes, tip forward, start to engage your core just a little bit. And then come back, come onto your heels. See what it feels like to try to lift your toes a little bit more off the floor. And one more time, up onto your toes, leaning forward, backing onto your heels. All right, and then spread out the bones of your feet. Feel the earth below you. Take a breath, reach your arms up. As you exhale, cactus them wide, shoulder blades hug toward each other, and then up again. Imagine you're pulling a bar down, like a lat pull down bar. So a little bit of strength, or maybe pulling yourself up. So feel some work in the back of your body. One more time, rising up. It's amazing what we can do with our imagination. So imagine you're pulling yourself up on a chin-up bar or pulling a bar down to you. And then release your arms and shake them out. Shake out your hands. Okay. One more time, arms up. This time we're going to bring our arms out and spread your fingers wide. Press them toward the walls. Lift your spine. Lift one ear up. And then lift the other ear up. Just back and forth, a little nerve gliding down your arms. One more time each side. All right, and then relax. Okay, we're going to turn this into a full body movement. So bend your knees, swing your arms up. Big circle. One more time. And then release your hands down. Halfway lift, long, long spine. Exhale and melt again. Fold. Relax your neck. Step your left foot back. Right foot comes forward, finding a lunge. Bend that knee, open the heart. Let's get into our legs now a little bit. Straightening the front leg a bit, and then bending it. So finding your pace, finding your breath. It doesn't matter if you move quickly or slowly. Just find what feels right for you this morning. As you straighten your front leg a little bit, stay grounded in the big toe. See if you can stay connected and grounded through that front foot. Opening up the hamstrings, opening up the hip flexors. All right, ground yourself. We're going to hop up onto our right foot. Reach that left leg in the air. Come up onto the tippy toes of your right foot. Lengthen, lengthen. Engage your glutes. Take a deep breath. Heel comes down. Tuck knee behind knee and curl in on yourself. Inhale up again onto your tippy toes. Stretch and lengthen your spine. Your leg is in the air. Exhale, curl in. Reach that leg out and back to a lunge. Open the chest. Rise up to a crescent lunge. Bring your arms anywhere that serves. So it may not be up in the air. That might not be what's right for you today. Breathing deeply. Feel the space that's in this pose, the openness from your heart to your back knee, that full line of expansion through the body. And then let's release the hands down. Step back to dog pose. Return to a sense of equilibrium between your two legs and take your feet wide apart. Turn your toes in just a little bit. Thigh bones lift up and back. Extend through your spine. Heart lifting toward the pelvis. Now with your legs wide apart, you have so much room. So breathe into that space. We're going to come into a plank with our legs wide like this. Find that sense of stability. Shoulders are away from the ears. You can always put your knees down if you need to. Deep breath in. Deep breath away. Start to let your breath be the spring cleaning here. Those full deep exhales. Don't forget to fully exhale too. Knees can come down. Find your way to the floor. Roll your shoulders a few times. Feeling that sense of space and openness. Shoulders up toward the ears, up towards the sky, and then back toward your pelvis. Notice your shoulder blades moving. So see if you can get some mobility where they slide on the ribs. Take a deep breath in, cobra pose. Exhale and melt back down. So you don't have to go super high. Keep a bend in the elbows. Keep the shoulders away from the ears as you rise up again and come back down. This time, no hands. So a little bit more sturdiness in the back of your body. We're exercising the muscles here, getting them strong. Elbows move down toward the hips. We're not coming up very high. The back of the neck stays long. Feel the work in the back of your body all along your spine. Drop your shoulder blades toward the pelvis, toward the sacrum. And then exhale and relax. Come up onto all fours. Move your spine around, swish, sway, anything that feels good, some cat-cows. And then settle back toward a child's pose. Take your hips toward the heels and relax a moment. Deep breaths here. All right, let's come back up. Bring your left foot forward now, coming into a lunge on this side. All right. And then let's start to move through the legs here. Let's straighten the front leg a bit and then bend it. And you can take your time and kind of hang out in a certain portion of this flow, or you can stay moving, whatever feels right to you. A little bit of bend in the front knee and then straightening the front knee a little bit. So we stay within the range of motion that's available for our spine to support. We don't want to round the spine deeply. It's okay to have a little chin tuck and a little bit of rounded spine. We don't want to rely on our back to do the work to open our hamstrings. Just go where your body's able to be. All right, so hop up onto that left foot. Reach that left leg in the air behind you. Start to stabilize, and then when you're ready, come up. Put a pair of high heels on that leg. Find the breath. As you exhale, heel comes down, knee tucks behind, squat, one-legged squat. Inhale, back up onto your toes. Stretch that leg behind you, engage. Exhale, tuck into a little ball. Press that leg straight, take it back onto the mat, finding a lunge. Rise up, crescent lunge when you're ready, take your time. Perhaps your arms are up in the air. Perhaps your arms are cactus or somewhere else. It doesn't matter. So be where the breath can be enlightened and spacious and free. Enlivened, where we have this capacity to breathe into all the chambers of our lungs. We're not just up here in the top. Breathing well. Full exhales. And release the hands down, walk your back foot forward, fold in half again. Relax the neck. Inhale for a halfway lift. Breathing deep. Exhale. And melt again. Push off your feet. Rise up. Bring your arms to the sky. Big open breath. And then relax the arms. Shake the hands again. Okay, interlace your fingers behind your back. Open the chest. Bend your knees and relax your head. Arms come away from the spine wherever they go. Breathing well. Okay, release the hands down. Halfway lift. Exhale, back to dog pose. Find your back feet hip width apart now. Inhale, come forward into a plank. Let's lower ourselves down. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale and melt. Rise back up to dog pose. Long, long spine. Relax your neck and breathe. Inhale your right leg up and stack your right hip over your left and feel the openness. Feel free to bend your knee or keep your legs straight, whatever works. Deep breaths here, open through the inner hip. And then square your hips up. Square them up. Place that foot down, change sides. Left leg lifting, hips are square to begin. Engage your glutes. And then when you're ready, stack, open that hip. Try not to collapse through the right side of your body. Bend your knee, straighten your leg, whatever's good. Neck is soft. Breathe into the pelvis. Breathe into the side waist, the belly. All right, and then square that foot up. Place it down onto the ground. Dog pose. Walk your feet forward and come into Tamasana. All right, let's rise up. I'm going to put a block between my thighs. If you have a knee that's kind of irritating you on any given day, putting a block between your thighs for chair pose can be a great way of stabilizing your knees for squatting. All right, so let's come into chair pose first. Just put your hands on your thighs right at the root of your hip crease and press down a little bit. Just drop in, get some weight into your legs. Feel the breath. Now let's add that little back bend that lives in this pose. Reach the arms up overhead and feel the thoracic spine work. Shoulders down, away from the ears. The neck is not the carrier of burdens here. Shift your weight back into your heels and lift your toes. Find the breath. And then we're going to come up onto your tippy toes. Stand. A little bit of balance work. Exhale, heels down, arms back. Inhale, chair. Up, up, up onto your toes. Exhale, heels down, arms back. One more time. Up onto your toes. Hang out here for a moment. Is our balance work. And then release and come to a standing posture. Keep the block if you're using one. Find the breath. Exhale. One more time. Press thighs. Ground yourself. Feel your roots. Rise up with your arms. We're going to take a twist here. Deep breath. Exhale. Open arms. Twist to the side. Start to wake up your thoracic spine in a different way. Arms up. Over to the other side. Arm up. One more time each side. Inhale to lift forward with your arms. Exhale to the other side. All right. Come on up. Last time on your toes. Heels down. Release the block and fold forward. Relax the spine again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and melt. Step your left foot back. Come to a lunge, but put your knee down onto the floor. And you can pad underneath your knee with some blankets. Toes can be curled under or flat, whichever works. And if that doesn't feel good, you can always just come into a lunge. Okay. Climb up. Hand presses down on your thigh or on your knee. Ground that leg and lift the spine. Okay, you can put your forearm on your knee now and open up the side of your body. Lean just a little bit to the right. Doesn't have to be big. Find the breath. And then we're going to turn that forearm to the thigh. Other hand can come onto the thigh. So right hand on thigh, left elbow on thigh. Open the chest. Spread open the collarbones and breathe deeply. And then relax and come back. Curl your toe under. Lift up off the ground with that back knee and plant your heel on the floor. Rise up, Vera-1. Arms come up. Reach and extend through the body. Tip your head back if it feels nice to do so. And then relax. And now walk your back foot forward, fold in half. Step your right foot back, knee down on the ground. Lunging on the side. Support your knee if you need to. Find the breath. Enjoy the ground. So feel the earth. Press into it with your left foot. Rise up, a little weight on your hands, on your knees, so that you feel that grounding of the front heel. When the heel grounds, can you feel the glutes kick in and support you? Rise up, maybe your hand stays on your knee, maybe your forearm comes onto your knee, and open up. So the spring cleaning in your rib cage. Let your breath be big and broad. And then bring your forearm to your knee, right forearm to left knee, left hand on thigh to help you lift the spine. Open across your collarbones. Keep pressing your front foot into the ground. Hug your front heel and your back knee toward each other. Use your core a bit to support your spine. Enjoy the thoracic spine twisting. And then release and melt. Lift the back knee up off the ground. place the heel onto the floor and rise up to Vera 1. So remember, your Vera 1 can be with your arms down. You can be leaning forward a little bit more. So just be where your body is happiest. Breathing well. All right, we're going to release our hands down onto the ground and come back to dog pose. Wide legs again, toes can turn in. Feel the space in your pelvis and breathe into that space. All right, come forward into a plank. Finding the breath. And then as you're ready, we can come down onto the ground. Okay, this is a big opener for the shoulder, so be very mindful. We're going to take our right arm straight out from our shoulder at a right angle, and we're going to turn open to the left. So I'm going to take my left foot and put it on the ground behind my other leg, but that may not be as far as your body can go. So just be where you are. Head resting on the floor. Open up the front of that shoulder socket. All right, and then let's release and change sides. Bring the left arm straight out like a T. Right hand is on the ground. Spin open to the right. Perhaps you just go a little bit. Maybe your right foot can come onto the ground behind you. So just be where you are. Do not push this. This is a big opening for the shoulder socket. So we want to be very careful. Can you ground your foot if it's back there? All right, great. And then relax and melt back to center. Okay, hands come down next to ribs. Take a deep breath, cobra pose. Open the chest, exhale, and melt. Put your hands underneath your forehead. Lift your kneecaps off the floor so you can spread your legs wider, and then lift your legs. Outer hips engaged and working, so our legs are wider than our hips. Lift them on up, and then melt them on down. We're gonna add arms to this. So you get to decide, depending on your shoulders, whether you want your arms wide and out in front of you, out to the side, or back. Palms are facing the floor if your arms are back behind you. Take a deep breath in, lift everything up. Feel the back body work. Breathe deeply. Let your diaphragm move your whole body. All right, and melt and relax. Come up onto all fours and move your spine about. Breathing deeply. Once you feel neutral in your spine, stretch back towards child's pose. Find your breath. Inhale and then exhale. All right, we're going to walk our hands forward. So our pelvis is up in the air, stacked over our knees instead of dropping back toward our heels. Walk the hands forward and come into puppy pose. So maybe your head touches the ground, maybe it doesn't. Just opening up the thoracic spine and finding your breath. Okay. All right, take your forearms on the ground and lift your hips high, dolphin pose. Breathing well. Feel the side bodies expand with the breath. Thigh bones up and back. Okay, and then let's walk the feet back and come into a forearm plank. So as you do this posture, you can always have your knees on the floor if you need to. Shoulders are away from the ears. Find your breath. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Feel the full 360 of your core. Still breathe deeply, even though you're having to stabilize. All right, and then lower yourself down to the ground. And just rest. Turn your head to one side or the other. Feel your whole back body breathe. So notice when you breathe in, the change of shape of your spine. Notice when you breathe out, the change of shape of your spine. Come back up onto all fours. Move things around, wiggle and swish and sway. Perhaps come into a dog pose and then walk forward, or perhaps you just stand up. So however you want to get back up to standing is great. We're all going to meet with our legs wide apart on our mat. All right, so breathe well. Let's cactus open the arms here. So palms, well, not cactus, sorry. Palms are facing up in front of you like you're holding to something in each hand, and then bring your hands out to the sides. Feel the work in the backside of your shoulder blades. Breathe into the open heart. Find your breath, keep your arms just like that. Turn your foot to the right, right foot to the right, and we're gonna open up into Viratu with our arms in this position. Find your breath, lift the heart. It doesn't matter how deep you go in this posture with your legs. And slide that arm down. Keep the palm up on the leg and reach the arm up in the air. Full side body stretch. Parasvanottanasana. Put your elbow on your knee or hand on the block and stretch the other side of your body now. Big open space. Breathe into the big open space. Ground your feet. Lots of work to ground. Remember that balance between effort and ease, that we're using our effort to create space in our body, to create stability in our body. All right, come back up. Find the star, reach your arms up in the air, breathing well. Okay, exhale, Viratu. Bring your arms back into those platters, open the chest. Find the heart, ground the legs. So root the feet, keep the heart broad. Now, having a broad heart is different than pushing your chest forward. So let the effort of your back body be there to support the openness, not to push the openness. And then when you're ready, reach that arm up. Reverse your warrior, stretch through your side. And then place your elbow on your knee. Your other arm comes overhead. Ground through your legs, root into your feet. Shoulder blades come away from the ears. The big open heart. All right. Relax to come out of there. One more time. Back to a standing star. Put your arms down now instead of up. Palms open. Okay, and then heel toe your feet so they're a little closer. All right, so find your breath. Stand in Savasana. Just notice, how do you feel? All right, we're going to ground into our right foot. You can always put your butt against a piece of furniture or a wall if you need some balance support. We're going to put our left foot on top of our right knee and find our way to figure four. Now, while you're here, if your shoulders still have a little more juice in them, reach up like chair pose. Feel that thoracic back bend. Draw your knees back into your hips. Widen your sit bones. A little anterior tilt of the pelvis. Reach. And then up. Place that foot down onto the ground. Relax your arms. Pause between the two sides. There's a lot going on in a pose like that. Obviously you're balancing, but there's work in the pelvis that's deep. There's work in the upper body that's deep. So if you need some support, all you have to do is just lean against a bit of support. You can stick your sit bones back against it or your sacrum back against it. Find your breath. And then reach the arms up when you're ready. Extend. Right, so feel the thoracic work, the thoracic spine opening, the work that creates that. Reach. Draw your femur bones deep into the hip sockets. Stick your butt out a little bit. Wide sit bones. And then come up. 2 feet onto the ground, arms down. And just relax for a moment. Finding the breath. Bring your arms up if that's a happy place for your body. Exhale and float forward. Relax your neck. Halfway lift. Spine grows tall. Exhale and melt. Step your left foot back. I'm going to show you plan A. I have plan B for you. So plan A, you can use a strap if you need to, is to take your right foot forward, your left foot back, and then left hand onto the ground and reach back with your right hand to grab your foot or wrap a strap around your foot. If you know your knee can't tolerate that, come onto your side and grab onto your foot and stretch your quadriceps this way. So either posture is great. So if your knee can't handle that first one, or you just don't feel like doing the first one, then come here and join me, okay? So find your breath, whichever pose you're doing. Chest is broad and free. Tailbone descends, pubic bone lifts. Relax. Come out of that pose. If you're on your side, you can just flip over to the other side. If you are on your feet, then just switch sides. Okay, so now our left foot is forward, our right hand is on the floor or on a block. We're gonna reach back with the with the right arm and grab onto the left foot. Open your chest. Oops, I'm saying that wrong. Your left foot is in the front, your right knee is in the back. You're reaching with your left arm and grabbing your right foot. You can use a strap. Shoulders are away from the ears. Enjoy the quad stretch. Breathe here. So remember, the sense of spring cleaning is opening up all sorts of places in your body that might have, contracted in the wintertime, gotten, absent or just a little bit offline. See what you can do to bring yourself back into the light. Okay, let's come on out of there. Let's all come to rest on your back for a moment. Bend your knees, put your feet on the floor, and just relax your spine. We're going to do a couple of bridge poses, one active and one passive. So if you want, you can stick a block between your thighs like we have with the chair pose earlier. You don't have to. It's just an option if you want to have a little more stability in the pelvic floor or for your legs to feel like they're grounded. Okay. Root your feet, four corners of feet, and go ahead and lift on up. So rock onto the tops of your shoulders. Open across the collarbones. Make sure the back of your neck is not pushing into the ground. Breathe into the open chest. Breathe into the open belly. Feel your diaphragm, your ribs, your bottom ribs. Create a lot of space. Root four corners of feet. Notice where you tend to slag. Do you tend to lean into the outer feet more than the inner feet, or right foot more than left? Just notice your patterns. Arms can be interlaced underneath you or just down, palms up. Lower our body down. Take a little twisting in between. So we're going to drop knees over right and then left, windshield wipering. You can turn your head in the opposite direction of your knees. Breathe well. Okay, so this one's going to be passive, but we're going to do another back bend after this, so don't use up all your back bend juice, okay? So you can go either an active posture or a passive posture, whichever feels good to you. So put the height of the block, whatever's comfortable if you're using it, across your sacrum. And there's many different intentions behind every pose, depending on the day, right? But if you are trying to stabilize your SI joint in this posture, then being on a low height might be very therapeutic. Just letting your body kind of settle into that. You can also do the pose very actively or go higher. So just see what your body is craving today. All right, we're going to get off of the block, come down to rest, flat back on the floor, feet are on the ground, knees bent. Deep breaths here. All right, let's go ahead and roll over onto our side. I'm going to get our blanket and roll it into a roll. And if you know you like deeper back bends, then you can do this with 2 blankets rolled. So we're going to roll a blanket up. And we're going to start this passive back bend sequence with the blanket underneath our shoulder blades. If you need another blanket or a block underneath your head, by all means. Not everybody can handle the head, kind of tipped back. So if it bothers your neck or makes you feel uncomfortable or dizzy, then make sure you take some support underneath your head. Now there's choices to be had here with your arms. So I know some people's shoulders get aggravated by some back bending postures like this. So you could keep your hands, up over your chest. You can bring your arms up over your head. You can interlace or hold on to your elbows and bring them up. You can rest your forearms on your forehead. You can cactus the arms. You can bring your arms out to a T. You can keep your arms down at your sides. There's so many choices. So allow whatever feels comfortable for your shoulder joints. And then whatever you're ending up doing, and I have my feet on the floor, knees bent, you can do that or you can have them straight. Whatever you're finding, breathe into it here. Notice your pecs. Notice all the little muscles between your ribs. See if you can get them to be a little more mobile. And if you do have trouble kind of sloughing off the heaviness of winter, the slowness of the mind, the heaviness of the body, whatever it is, sometimes just hanging out in some passive back bends can shift the mind a lot. So just notice what's happening in your thoughts, in your breath, in your body. We're going to scooch the blanket a little bit lower to the bottom tip of your shoulder blades. So we are not in our low back. We are not in the low back. We're just at the bottom edge of the shoulder blades. This is, even just going down an inch or 2 can make a difference in how the pose feels. And once again, place your arms wherever you want them to be. It might be different in this variation. Same with your legs. And then notice where the breath can travel now. Enjoy the open space. Breathing deeply. All right, now, when you're ready, and there's no rush, if you're like, oh, I love this spot, then just hang out for a while. But when you are ready to move, we're going to lift our pelvis up and we're going to slide the bolster that's underneath our shoulder blades down underneath our pelvis. So kind of like bridge pose, like you just did with that block, you want it there across your sacrum. All right, and then see what it feels like to straighten your legs. If you can't straighten both your legs, perhaps maybe you can straighten one leg at a time, heel down on the ground. If your legs are able to be straight, experiment with, do you want your legs a little wider apart, a little closer together? See what it feels like. You can experiment with, where your toes are pointing. Find what feels good in your body. And then same with the arms. You can still put them anywhere you want that's comfortable. Once you get to a place where you want to stay for a few breaths, notice the breaths. Notice what it feels like to breathe into the pelvis. Let go of any inhibitions of holding your belly. See if you can just let your whole abdomen move freely. All right, and then bend your knees. Keep the blanket there. You might want to move it up just a little bit to the top edge of your sacrum, and then bring your knees in toward your chest. Don't pull them in super tight, just a nice gentle movement at first. You can even rock a little bit from side to side. You can lift your legs up if you want, and then slowly, after a couple of breaths where your body just gets used to shifting directions, if you want to bring your knees a little tighter in, you can do that. And then if you can also just get rid of the blanket underneath your pelvis at any moment. Put the feet down. If you still have that blanket underneath you, let it go. Move it out of the way. Lie here for a moment. Take some beautiful breaths. All right, let's twist. Move your hips over to the right, couple of inches. Drop your knees to the left. Breathe into the twist. Turn your head to the right. Left hand on the outer right knee. If you need any support, like a block underneath your left shin or whatever is going to make your twist feel good, go ahead and do that. All right, let's pick up the knees. Before going to the other side, pause in neutral, take a breath. We'll lift the hips, bring them to the left, knees come up and drop them to the right. Okay, let's pick up our knees. Now you have a choice. I just want you to stretch your hips a little bit. So either thigh over thigh, drawing the knees in, or perhaps reverse pigeon pose. So whichever feels best to your body. I'm just letting the hips stretch a little bit here, extend the spine. Breathing well. All right, now whichever pose you're doing between the two sides, let's stretch our limbs wide. Take a deep breath, exhale, knees in, head up, and then switch to the other side. So either left thigh over right thigh or left foot on right knee for reverse pigeon. All right, so notice, especially in pigeon pose, your pelvis can compensate a lot and do weird things. So make sure that your hips are square. Make sure you're not hiking one hip higher up toward the shoulder than the other. Drop the tip of your tailbone a little bit down toward the earth. So there's a little bit of an anterior tilt to the pelvis. Wide sit bones. Stretch through the inner foot, big toe and inner heel. Now, if you are thigh over thigh, a lot of those same pelvic motions work. You just can't, worry about your foot on your knees. The only thing that's a little different. Okay, let's release that open. Spread one more time to a star. Exhale, knees into chest. And then release the head down and find happy baby pose. Now, if happy baby is not a good pose for you, just grab onto your knees. You can rock a little bit from left to right if you want. You can straighten one leg at a time if you so desire. So just kind of find the last little bit of nurturing your spine, whatever's going to feel comfortable. Sometimes returning back to those circles that we do in the beginning of class can be nice. All right. Now, as we come into Savasana, you might want some support underneath your knees, either with a blanket or a bolster, or putting your calves up on a chair or a couch. Allow yourself to drop in. Before you kind of sink really deep, just notice your breath and take some beautiful free inhales and full complete exhales. Enjoy your body starting to drop down. Feel the weight of your limbs, the weight of your spine, let everything settle deeper into the earth. Rest everywhere. Let's begin to deepen our breathing again. Notice your body on the floor. Let yourself deeply breathe. On the exhale, visualize letting go of anything that no longer serves, bringing room for new thoughts, new experiences in the body. Slowly begin to move. Bring small movements, fingers and toes, big movements, whatever feels good. Take your time and eventually find your way to a seated posture. Take your time, and you can stay lying down. There's no rules. As you come to sit, place your hands together at your heart. Feel the open heart. Offer the new energy you've cultivated in your practice and share it. Send your love to another. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.